going?
Good. How about you?
Not bad, not bad. Is it what time is it for you over there?
3:04.
Oh, perfect, dude. East Coast. East
Yeah.
Coast represent.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna turn on my screen share. Let me know when you can see my screen,
I can
and
see it.
then
Yeah.
we can get started. Nice, 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 nice. So from the links you sent me, the third one works, I think, but I didn't. The other two are kind of. I'm not sure what happened to them.
Let me see if I can fix it.
Hmm.
Especially since that's like the least important one, of course.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
That's tragic.
It's
Oh
the one.
shit, dude! Look at this brand. That's what I like to see, man. Hell
Yeah.
yeah, dude. This brand stuff is OP, dude.
I've been trying a lot of things out. I mean, it's been doing okay, I guess, here and there.
Not bad, not bad, not bad. Very much. It's funny because I was gonna say meta, but it really is meta, right? Like you got Yasuo, you got Kaisa, Lucian, Brand, Ezreal. You know the pretty much what's kind of standard in the bot lane. But tell me about your gameplay, I guess. Or are you busy trying to figure out what happened to these guys?
Yeah. I'm trying to figure it out.
No worries, no worries.
Oh my god. I bet you I know what happened.
What happened?
I'm pretty sure I forgot to press publish after they actually uploaded.
Oh, I see, I see. Yeah, set
But
it to
I'm not.
public or something.
Yeah, but I'm not sure how to redo that or like republish it, I guess.
You can go into like your like video manager and then like edit it into public or something
Okay.
like that.
Let's see, video manager. Yeah, I'm very new to this if you couldn't tell, so not exactly
Oh, it's muted. Oh my god, I'm boosted. Okay, so the question was how you not playing Aurelia ADC, and we are playing Aurelia ADC. It's mega broken, but Aurelia is usually banned or picked by the other team. So Aurelia is probably the most busted champion I've ever seen in my life. Even worse than Zoe. Even worse than like release Zin. Dude, it's the worst thing I've ever seen in the game. Worse than Camille, dude. I don't know how to express how much of a mistake making this shit is.
Are you still
It's
there?
like, oh yeah, one sec. Yeah. What's up?
Oh,
How's
sorry.
it going?
I didn't know if you were there. You just
Oh no,
went
no,
quiet.
I muted real quick and was answering questions in chat. Well,
Sorry. My
no
bad.
worries. But yeah, Aurelia OP, okay. Like I think I played Aurelia
Okay.
on Rin. First time, dude. First time ranked. Okay, you see
Publish.
this? It's fucking retarded.
Okay.
This is
That's
so stupid.
one.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in
Hope
my
that's
life,
one.
dude. It's like, why is this champion? Why does this champion exist, dude? Um, I don't know, dude. All you had to do the way. So, how do you know you kill someone? Oh, if you can hit them with ulti, you win. Doesn't matter how many people they have. You can hit someone with ulti, you just kill them. The only coach while streaming, no. If the student doesn't want the session to be.
Do they work now? Because I pretty sure I published both of them now.
All right, let's take a look. Oh, baby, here we go. Got him.
Cool.
All right, nice. Which of these do you think is best to look at first?
I feel like a lot of my games, like except for like the brand and whatever those, because I'm just like learning them and not really caring about how they go. But like a lot of my games, I feel like I'll get like really far ahead in lane, and then I'll just I mean, I don't think I know what I'm doing in the mid game. Like, I think my mid game is just awful because I'll
Okay.
get like a pretty big league. Like in, for instance, the Kaisa game here, I'll get like at some point I'm like 7-3, but like I feel like I just didn't do anything mid game wise correctly.
Interesting. We'll definitely take a look at that. So in terms of your gameplay, what do you think you need most work on, or is it just all mid game stuff? Like, what do I do after the lane phase?
Pretty much mid game, and maybe
Okay.
I'm sure there's definitely weaknesses in my like early game that I'm not seeing, but like obviously I just don't realize I'm making mistakes, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at least from my point of view, it seems like mid game in particular is like really bad.
How's your team fighting? What do you think? Or fighting in
Um,
general?
I've been told it's pretty good. I don't like that's but I guess in my opinion it's okay. I tried to practice focus priority on like if the ADC like walks up too far, then like focus and
Interesting,
switch and
interesting.
so.
This is hella clean. Let's watch this real quick. Pog Champu. Perfect response, basically. May have missed an auto, but it doesn't really matter. So if laning phase is going really well, like you say, oh, actually, hold up. What happened here?
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
let's talk about this.
I got caught level 2 like because I wasn't paying attention.
Right, this is just level 2. I'm sure you know what's going on, but yeah, if they have level 2, just don't try and what's it called? Don't fight them if they have level 2 and you don't, right? Can you think of a situation where you would?
When I'm level 1 and they're level 2,
Right.
or
Like in this kind of situation here. They hit level 2, they're running at you. Is there a time where you'd want to fight them?
I guess if Nami had like let's say like the bubble and she hits a bubble on the Rakan who misses his W or
I would say sure, but like cases where you're gonna win, like 2v2, or cases where you're gonna win in this situation. You know what I'm saying? Like landing
yeah.
bubble does not necessarily you guys are winning. I would say since they're level 2, they can even dodge the bubble, right?
Right.
There are two main scenarios where it's like you're trying to bait them into going on you because your jungler's here, which is maybe he's level 2 ganking or something like that. Or what if you kill this minion as they're rushing in?
Well then we'd be level 2 and we can kind of not only could we respond back, but they'd get like a W to the face and probably
Right, exactly. So those are probably the two main cases where you don't want to do that. Otherwise, you never want to do that, right? Even those two main cases don't happen very often. So just they have the level 2 push, and you couldn't match it for whatever reason, then I guess try to not fight. But I mean, I think you already know that, right? Since you're like, oh, awkward when you saw that on the replay, right? So not too much to worry about if it doesn't happen every game, but as long as you're aware of it, we're all good. Oh, Nami's almost dying. Okay, yes. All right, everyone run. Sure. Fast forward. I think laning phase is not bad, all things considered, especially since you guys like lost flash and stuff. Okay, this is really spicy. All right, let's watch what's going on here. Back it up. All right, let's see what's going on. Oh, they're trying to base, so you throw a W into their face. Okay, I like it. Sure. I think W for poke is barely relevant still. And what I mean by that is like level 2 when you get W and you hit them, how much damage does it do?
like well, unless it's like you're following with your passive or something.
It's like meaningful damage, right? It's like really good, right? I would say it's like really good, right? But how about level 5? How good is your W damage just by itself?
Probably not that fantastic, I guess, because unless you have like for some reason multiple points in W, but
right, not as good, right? So when we go for a W here, what's the idea?
Honestly, I'm pretty sure I was trying to go for the minion in the center, and then because I didn't have flash or heal up, so I couldn't walk up, and the Rakan I think still had W up, so if I walked up, I'd probably die.
Okay, and
I think that's what I was trying. Yeah, because
I guess that's the idea, but then we walk up anyways. You know what I'm saying? So here are some points I want to mention. Is that when it comes to when to use abilities at what time on Kaisa, we'll say for example, when do you want to use W after like level 5 or level 4 or whatever level we're at right now?
Basically, when they're like right in front of your face, so you can get a free passive proc.
Well, yeah, when you can hit it, right? When you can hit it, and we can hit the guy you're trying to kill, I guess, right? So that's pretty much the only case, unless you're like, oh, scouting bushes, or you're like late game team fight, you're gonna one shot someone in the back line, right? For now, that would be the only case, right? Or you're getting a cannon minion, right? Something like that. So why do we say that? This may not be a good idea to use W like this.
Well, it's kind of a good ability to get your passive proc off and probably bad value because you're not even getting the minion and you walk anyway. So
Right. So if they start fighting you right now, how do you fight? Right.
Yeah, there's probably not gonna
We kind of can't is the idea,
yeah.
right? It's like, oh, you know, he's half health. It's fine to use W because there's no way they're gonna fight us. Jungle comes up from behind. You can't kill the jungle all of a sudden because you need your W, right? So something like that is always gonna happen. I promise you. Promise. I promise. I promise. And even if it doesn't, later in like your next 10 games, it will happen if you keep doing this, right? There's always gonna be a case, especially in my games when I do this, where right here you need a W, right?
Right.
And you would win this trade even harder, right? You're gonna win this trade, but you would like kill this guy, right? You're not gonna kill this guy because we're missing something here. So that's kind of the idea. Oh my god, actually we could have killed someone here, I think, or maybe we had the potential to. So when it comes to using abilities, something like using Q like this is okay, right? It's not too bad because you know we're pushing, we're getting minions, whatever. But W is the more important one because you know what's the difference between the cooldowns? It's like 22 seconds or something with your W. It's kind of disgusting, but it's really strong. So makes sense, right? So if you know they're basing, what do you want to do with the lane, I guess?
Well, I mean, assuming you have like enough health and mana or whatever to respond to a jungle gank, you want to push in to make them lose minions.
Okay, I think this is a fair option, the standard cookie cutter option. Is there something wrong? Is there something that went wrong here? Let's watch this real quick. So we're pushing this in, and then bam, what happened?
I put it in a position where they can just freeze it on me.
So we didn't push it in, right? Is the
No.
problem? So what happened? What happened during the push? How come we couldn't push it in?
Not enough mana, pretty much, and then I probably a little late on my abilities, like the E, for instance.
We just legit could not push it fast enough, right? I guess
Yeah.
we used our mana for W instead of Q, which is kind of awkward, but it was gonna be a close thing anyway. So do we have any other options here? Right here.
I assume getting wards out if you had wards. But...
Well, in terms of so one option was push and base, right?
Yeah.
What happens if you and then it didn't work out because either we didn't push fast enough or something happened, we couldn't push fast enough, and then the minions are kind of up there and you're losing minions, right? So what happens if you base now? What happens to the minion raise?
Or well, if they can freeze it, unless they slow push it by accident.
Well, what's going to happen to the wave if you leave the lane? What do you think?
As it is now,
yeah,
it's gonna push from my side.
Right. So how many minions are they losing?
Probably at least 4.
Yeah, these 4 right here, right? And then plus like 3, I would say, or probably even more than that, right? They're gonna be losing a lot. Right? How many do you lose?
Probably the melee and maybe the cannon, but that's not even certain.
Right, 2 or 3, right? So something like if they have to base for whatever reason, like you just kill them or they have no HP or whatever, and the wave is pushing towards your side, you always have the option to base immediately and then come back, right? And then the wave will be on your side of the map, and there's a bunch of minions for you to pick up, right? It's just one thing to note when it comes to wave management, right? This is stuff that'll get you free money. Like, you know, the question's always like, oh, how do you punish people in lane whenever you force them to base? That's kind of how you do it, right? Is make them lose minions wherever possible. So pushing in is the easiest way to kind of do it because it's like easy to understand. You know, they're losing minions to the tower, but sometimes you can't shove it into their tower for whatever reason, right? Maybe you're dying to a gank, or we don't have enough mana, or something like that, right? So let's watch what is happening here. Okay, what? Let's watch it from here. Okay, you're just hitting this guy. Sure. Sure. You just want to leave. Victor, interesting roam. Oh, you definitely want to leave. Okay, that's fine. Everything is fine. Oh, what happened here? Oh, baby, the fattest bubble in town. He's just dead. Very nice. You can even get this guy if you... Oh, okay, let's go. Okay, sure. And then just press Q. Sure, very nice. All right, let it... So it looks like landing phase, you know, turns out to be pretty good, right? Let's go to the points in the mid game where you said you were having trouble figuring out, you know, what you should be doing. Fast forward. Sure. Pressing them on the tower. Sure. Any questions, by the way?
Not so far.
Oh, what happened here?
I think I get the recount, but I die.
That's awkward.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about this. So what's going on here? In your words, how would you describe this?
I walked up in Rakan range when he clearly had it up. His W, I mean. And then
So
yeah.
when you see something like this, what is your first thought?
I guess it depends, because like if I have sums up and they don't, then I'm like, okay, this is they're about to die. But honestly, probably right now I'm thinking about trying to kite out of his ult. That's probably coming next. So
Okay, so we're trying to kite out, right? So what part of kiting out do we kind of miss here?
That
Right here.
I walked forward.
Right, you walked forward, right? So how do we know that? Well, if I said this is a mistake, why would I say that? Or rather, if I said that your first reaction should be to run away, why would I say that?
Because he's got ult, and obviously if I get caught by ult, then I'm probably dead.
There's a better pattern to notice, I would say, which starts right here, right? Which is they landed their kind of catchability first, right? They're landing stuff first, and we have no. Is this winning or losing? What do you think?
It's
or
losing.
Not sure. Right, I would say it's losing because we got hit. Right, so your first reaction is let's try and this tangle. Like let's leave this situation so we can reset. Right, maybe we can just pop our potion, heal off Nami, whatever. But we don't want to continue this fight, right? Because you know that you are losing, right? You know this is a losing fight, right? Here you're actually dead, right? How do you die here?
Well, their win conditions like all in, so I guess the Lucian's probably just gonna come and just destroy me.
Right,
and
there's Rakan ignites, ultis, and then Lucian full combo. It's over. Right? There's literally nothing you could do. You can't get out of the charm in time, right? So that's kind of how we know that this is not a good situation, right? So that's how you know you kind of want to run, right? So the problem here, I think, was that we needed to know what we wanted in this fight, right? So in general, if a fight starts poorly, you want to leave the fight, right? You guys want to stop fighting, and if the fight starts out, good, you guys want to keep going, right? So here, I think we kind of did what they wanted, right? We kept going when that's kind of what they want, right? And you guys are strong, so you guys are somewhat winning this, but we already knew you were gonna die before it happened, right? Is kind of the idea. So the way to kind of recognize that pattern is fight that starts out poorly and it doesn't change is gonna end poorly, right? So what I mean by change is like, oh, Nami lands a double bubble, right? So she like turned the fight in your favor because of she got good value off her abilities, right? But nothing like that ever happened, right? She's gonna miss, right? They're just gonna flash or something. It's probably not happening, right? So I wouldn't say anything like, oh, don't dash in or don't be out here, don't get hit. Is more of a recognize the fight is going poorly at first. You want to recover the fight before you keep going, right? Before you try and keep fighting, right? Is the idea. But okay, I think that it may come up later in something like team fights or anything like that, but I'm not too worried about it yet, right? Okay, it seems like you guys caught this guy. Oh, okay, very nice. Very nice catch. Oh, baby. Sure. Is there anything wrong with this, though?
Mid's missing. And he's coming down, I guess.
Okay, that's true. He is on the way. If I said you should die here, why is that?
Because Rakan, if he has ult up and W, then he's just gonna turn and
Right? Wasn't he actually like popping ult or something?
I think so. Yeah.
It's kind of interesting, right? So here the bet is like I'm gonna kill him before he can turn or something like that, right? So if you think you can kill him before he can pop ulti and W, then I think that's fine to go for it, right? It's just know that he is going to turn around and use everything on you, right? Okay, and then you guys get this guy because he tried to help, and then the fight was already over. Sure. Push this in, sure. You can even hit this tower if you want. Oh, okay, Chun does that. You guys are taking over this game. What is going on? Do you lose this?
No.
Okay, good.
Well,
I was gonna say
the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we lose the game.
What? Yeah. Okay. All right, we'll definitely see what happens. All right, so if you guys lose with a lead like this, it's always going to be two things. One of two things is the generally what happens from what I've seen is one, mid game goes poorly and all of a sudden you have no money for or levels for some reason, and you didn't get anything done. Or two, there are big fights, and then we like don't come through, right? We make a mistake or something like that. So, okay, what's wrong with this?
He still has W and alt up, I guess.
Right. So when it comes to okay, let's start with this. Why did you want to fight here?
Because I'm way stronger than he is, and he's out of position.
Okay, true.
Yeah,
let's say I'm trying to think of it like a super obvious example, but let's say they're Malphite Cannon, right? And they're both 0-3, and you're still 5-1. You dash in here, what happens?
Oh, I'm dead.
Right. So why is that? Even though they're 0-3, right? They have 6 deaths between the two of them. Why are you still dead?
They're gonna stack their ults and just kill me.
Yeah, these base damages plus like a little bit of items. This just means you kill them. You kill people faster. It doesn't mean you're any tankier, right? So now instead of Malphite Cannon, right? This is Rakan Lucian. So I consider both of those champions to be very all-in oriented, right? Because Rakan can't miss basically with his ulti W, and Lucian just kills someone really quick by throwing all of his kit into someone, right? So Kaisa is also all in, I would say, right? Because she has her 5-stack passive and her W, her ulti, whatever, everything about her wants to be all in. What about Nami?
Nami's more like a trade champion, like because she heals you up, and then I mean it's nice if she gets a bubble, but like I guess the point of her is like you trade, go even, then you heal back up and just win trades that way.
Agreed. So that's how we know that you're losing here, is that there's just based on matchup, you can't win this, right? And one reason you'd have to do something like this is maybe your junglers are here, and then the instant they turn on you, you guys 3v2 or something like that, or you have some kind of reason like a global or something like that. But here, I think we're just dying here, right? If they just go on you, you're just dead, right? Oh my god, he didn't kill you. Oh my god. But yeah, you see right here, he can kill you, right?
Yeah.
It's just he just throws everything into your face and then you're done. The fact that he doesn't instantly kill you is really strange, but he does end up killing you. So that's kind of the problem there, is you need to know how and when you want to fight. I think is one of the kind of habits we're seeing here, is that we're just trying to fight, but we're trying to fight no matter what happens. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like before, when Rakan went on us, we're like, oh, we're going to hit him back because we're not going to take shit from him, right? But sometimes, you want to back off after you get hit. Or we want to fight just because you're strong, but it doesn't really... Sometimes it doesn't make sense, right? It's like, what's the reasoning? Item difference isn't always a good reason, right? It's probably the last reason I would consider, right? What's the first consideration? What do you think? And just who wins the fight? What's the first consideration?
Winning conditions, I guess.
Okay, that's really important, but I would still say that's not the number one thing. What's like one of the golden rules of League? That's not just, don't chase Singed. It's like, let's say the enemy team teleports.
Yeah.
Right. So why is that super important?
Because you're at a numbers disadvantage.
Right. You can't win 2v3 unless you're playing Aurelia or something like that, right? In League of Legends, numbers is the first consideration, right? And then the second is something like big value, vision, and win conditions, right? Because those can beat numbers, but most of the time, numbers is always going to win, right? So first consideration is numbers, right? And then, apparently they had a TP that we didn't know about, so we're still losing this. And then, right, who even TP'd on their team? I don't even know. They're top laner or something. Right, so
could have lived here, but some reason I was like spamming my R and it just never went through.
Right, it's true that since they made a mistake, we could out mechanics way out of this. Right, you press R and then we walk away. Yeah. But
I mean, I still would have had to struggle. I mean, it was
right. There's no way that this should be. There's no way that this should work. You know what I'm saying? We don't even consider past this line because we don't want to fight here anyways, right? Every kind of anything you do here leads to death, pretty much, right? It's just losing. It's a losing play, we would say, right? So what should we do instead? Or rather, how do you know you want to fight?
Well, obviously, if like, if like Rakan doesn't have ult up, and his W's down, or if like you've traded with them enough where they're like maybe half health or below, and then
Right,
or
agreed,
it's
agreed.
just
You have to have some kind of reason, right? So, any reason that's not like we're just strong so we can win anything. It doesn't really work that way, right? The reason you need is something like you did before, right? So we're at 16 minutes in the game. What happened here? There's like a Rakan by himself. You guys are just killing him, right? You remember that in the river?
yeah,
I don't know what happened, but I can't find it. But you know what I mean, right? Oh, that's 2v1.
yeah,
So that's how you know. That's the reason. You guys are winning. Um, anything like that. You kill the victor. How'd you know? Oh, it was like 4v1, right? You're definitely winning. So the bottom line is though is you need to be able to reason out why you guys want to fight for whatever in any given situation. Oh, that Lucian almost died. Oh, this is a Lucian kick right into his face. Oh, that's awkward. All right, everyone leave. Sure. But yeah, that's kind of it's really important to know this as an AD carry because if you try and fight when you're not supposed to, or rather when you don't want to fight, what's gonna happen is you guys are gonna lose the team fight, or you're gonna lose the advantage you had, right? Or maybe you guys are losing and then you guys pick a bad fight and you guys lose even harder, right? You only really want to be picking good fights, especially when you're ahead, right? Because the team kind of needs you to drive the bus here, right? This top side is not winning, right? It's just you and LeBlanc, I would say. So if you make any mistakes, it's gonna be really hard to win, right?
yeah. I make quite a few.
Oh no, they even get dragon.
Yeah,
Oh no. All right. Well, you just hit the closest guy. You just win this game. Sure. This is fine. Just don't OT in. Oh,
yeah,
maybe you have to OT in now. Okay, this is awkward. All right, let's watch this. So let's talk about this.
yeah.
All right. Did you notice anything in the first 2 seconds?
Well, I mean that they're all 5 there.
Let's look at things we could have done better. So,
Okay.
sure, we pushed this out. I think that's fine. And then, what are we doing here?
We're throwing out a W kind of badly. Just
Right. And why is it not? What could be improved? With your
holding
W?
on to it because
I
there's
agree.
no value in that one.
Right. Even if you hit someone, it actually turns out that it's not good value because it doesn't do anything. You're just putting it on cooldown, right? And it's like, oh, we're gonna dash in, but I don't think that really works unless you're trying to flash a con ulti. It doesn't make sense, right? You want to be using it on the guy you're trying to kill. Like, what if Chando walks up and you needed it on him during the fight, right? So that's the first thing we want to take a look at is definitely hold on to your W. And then you could say that eating into the fight is okay, but yeah, it's not too bad, but oh no, it's just disaster. So so what happened here? What happened here?
So the top laner and me are in a call, and he says he's here, and I'm assuming he's coming over the wall. So I step up a little, not a little, way too forward, and yeah. Ironically, nothing ends up happening here. So, and then I just die because I step forward like an idiot.
So let's talk about team fights. So in team fights, what's your job? What's your priority in a team fight? Number one priority.
Always to do the most damage possible.
Okay, so here we were doing the most damage possible, and then you died, right?
Yeah.
So was that good, bad, or could that be better?
I mean, obviously it could be better. I mean, I died like an idiot here, so.
Right, so that tells us that our cookie cutter strategy in team fights, our number one priority isn't do the most damage possible, right?
Yeah.
What's our so if I said your number one priority is to make sure you stay alive, why would that be?
Well, I guess I would have assumed the reason to stay alive is because that's going to give you the most damage possible.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna give you the most damage possible if you stay alive. It's gonna give you the most opportunities, right? Is if you're dead, you have 0 opportunities, right? And you put your team in a spot where it's pretty much impossible for them to win, right? But if you stay alive, even if your whole team dies, there's still opportunities to push waves, to stop Baron, to pretty much do anything, right? The problem with trying to do as much damage as possible is that you're just gonna tunnel vision and die, right? Or something strange is gonna happen, and you walk up into them somehow because you're trying to kill someone, right? And then you just die. So, in team fights, we'll say staying alive is number one priority. So that includes like, oh, don't get hit by Rakan ulti when they're gonna follow up or something like that. What do you do second if you're safe?
I guess that's when that would come in. So.
What's the second priority? Do you think the second cookie cutter strategy?
I mean, obviously do most damage, but I assume like who has the CC to kill you. So like obviously like Trundle Pillar or whatnot if you're too far up, or like Victor W if you aren't watching positioning.
So your second kind of okay, so I'll lay you out my method for team fighting. Right, this method will work pretty much any rank. Doesn't matter what rank it is. Right. So the first as an AD carry is you want to stay alive. Right. You don't want to get caught by something crazy like Ornn ulti or Malphite ulti, whatever. Right. That's kind of a given. I would hope. The second is you hit the closest guy. Right. Have you heard that one before? Where you guys just want to focus the closest person. Doesn't matter who it is. I don't care if it's Malphite with 10,000 armor. You're hitting the closest guy no matter what. Right. And if you can do those two things, you'll win 90% of the fights. Right. So, what did we break any of those rules? Do you think?
Well, yeah, Trumbo became the closest guy, and I walked up to try to get a kill all of them. Rakan, who's clearly gonna get out.
Right. Exactly. So we try to keep chasing, even though the closest guy changed. Right. You gotta hit the closest person. Right. And it's true that this team fight is going really poorly. You guys should just leave, but you're not really able to leave if you keep chasing Rakan. Right. So there are several things at play here, right? But the thing that's most easiest to kind of teach and recognize is that you want to follow these two rules for every single fight. Literally every single fight, right? That's all you need to do for for AD carries for the last however many years. This is all you needed to do, right? And then the third priority is if you see a play that doesn't involve hit the closest guy, then go for it. If it's 100%. Right. So let's say, for example, you can somehow kill this Rakan by ulting in, auto tag, run away. Right. Then you can go for that if you know it's gonna work for whatever reason. Right. But if you don't have the first two priorities in order, you're always going to throw a fight somehow, which is what happened. Right. What do you? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or do you not agree? Or
no, I mean the proof is in the video right here. So
right, it's just nothing you can do, right? So the other thing that kind of makes this awkward is that yeah, your Nara is kind of stuck over the wall or something, and then the strange things are happening, right? And your LeBlanc like suicides or something. So the other thing to note here is that you guys want out, right? So how do you know that this is going really poorly?
Bad numbers. Well, not
I would say it's 5v5, right? So.
I guess I should have meant like after Lee Sin dies and LeBlanc commits suicide.
Right. If you see something really bad happen, like I see this Lee Sin die for free, we're trying to run. Right. You don't want to remember how we were like, oh, after you got hit by Rakan W, we're in a losing fight. We want to get out unless we see something good happen. Right. Same thing here. Lee Sin like killed himself trying to steal his dragon for whatever reason. You guys want to run until you see something good happen. So what are some good things that could happen while you guys are running?
I mean, I'm getting like kiting and autos off or whatever. Like I'll like roll autos and then I get my Q off or whatever.
No, like something big, right? Big enough for you. How Lee Sin like died, something that's equal to that, but on the like good.
Good value with like Nami bubble.
Right. Like what if she lands a 5-man bubble? That could be an indicator that you guys want to turn. I would say even then you guys just want to run. But what if Lee Sin kicks someone in the 5-man bubble and the 5-man turns into a 5-man Lee Sin kick? Oh, that's an indicator that we want to hit the closest guy now, right? That's, right. We want to continue this fight because it's really good. Or maybe Nara comes in somehow and 5-man ultis into the wall, right? But unless you see that, you don't turn, right? That's kind of how it works. But here, I think it's just simply, if we had just hit the closest guy, we would be getting out, right? You could just hit Chundo here. He pillars you, you ulti out, everyone's happy, right? But I think what happened here was we tunnel vision on Rakan, and then it didn't work and we got confused, and then we're getting run down, so panic flash leads into we're just dying, right? So it really is super important to follow these first two rules, okay? And the idea of if a fight is going poorly, do not continue the fight, right? Find a way out, right? Sometimes it's just leave the fight because that's probably the most likely scenario. Is fight's going really poorly, you just want to leave, right? Okay, team is dying. Oh wait, team killed someone. Nice. Okay, we're still bot. I think that's fine. As long as they're not bum rushing Baron, we should be okay. Okay, they went mid. That's really awkward that everyone left mid, but whatever. We go mid, sure. We can definitely win this game. Kill these guys, you guys get Baron for sure. Hell yeah. Oh, let's watch this. Okay, we can nitpick here and say, well, what would we nitpick here? What do you think?
My ult wasn't really needed.
Yeah, yeah, you already know that.
Cooldown.
Yeah, you already know. So it's just don't use your ulti, right? Because your ulti is super important when it comes to what if you land a W? What if what if Nar ultis Lucian later when you guys are fighting for Baron? Oh, bam, you can kill him if you ulti in, but you don't really have that option anymore, right? And you didn't really need it to kill Trundle. So when in doubt, always hold on to it, right? Okay, what's going on here? You guys are more. You have. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, Nami dies, and then everyone runs into Victor's face. Okay, we're just trying to stop Orange. Sure. Sure, we can just hit this guy. Team is dying though. You don't want to chase him, right? Okay, good. Fast forward. Sure. Oh, what happened here? What happened here?
I don't know. I'm frozen.
Oh, you can't see it.
No, I'm fine. I can see it now. Yeah, I was like thinking I should eat. Well, I was thinking he was gonna like stand around on the wall, and I could probably like burst him and get out. But yeah, I called him.
How do you right here? How do you know you can't burst him?
Again, I missed my W, and yeah.
Right. So there's some the two biggest trends or three biggest trends we're seeing are one, we have I guess a problem with ability value. I think we're just using our abilities because we can rather than making sure that we know it's really good, right? This is what you want. You don't want average when it comes to getting good value. You want super good. Okay, super good. That's what you're looking for. So unless you know that this W is super good, like you're hitting backline and you're killing him, or the W is going to kill the guy that's right in front of you, or your ulti is like necessary for whatever reason, you don't use it. Yeah, that's like the first thing. That's like the mechanical aspect. And then the second aspect that we're seeing here is we're trying to fight or continue fights that start off poorly or are not good in the first place, right? So the way to kind of fix that or work on that is before you fight, you ask yourself, do we have, what's our reasoning here? What's our reason to fight here? So here it would be like, oh, we're trying to one-shot him. All right, I would say, okay, that's fine. So when you go for the one-shot, maybe we miss W. Okay, you don't want to one-shot anymore, right? You want to run. But the problem is that you still kind of try to do it, even though it failed, right? Even though a condition of your trying to fight failed, you still try and keep going, if that makes any sense, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the biggest thing is something like whenever you see a fight going poorly, you want to not continue that fight, right? And I don't think we really have any issues of continuing a fight that goes well because you pretty much do that already. So it's just whenever you see something poorly happen, you want to try to disengage, right? You want to not keep going down that line because that's not a you guys are losing. If nothing big happens, you guys are gonna end up losing, right? It's kind of the problem we're seeing here. So far we didn't really get to see any kind of mid game ideas. It's just these random fights are happening and we kind of make a decision that isn't gonna work. Oh no. Okay, what happened here?
I got collapsed on.
So if this is a fight, what kind of team fight priorities are we breaking?
Well, we have a numbers disadvantage as LeBlanc is bot, and I'm way too close for hitting the closest target. Or like I'm not hitting the closest target. I'm hitting just a target.
Okay, let's pretend LeBlanc is here, and our number one priority is stay safe, right? And our number two priority is hit the closest target. So, are we hitting the closest target?
At the present, yes.
I would agree, right? So number two is good, but what's the problem with number one?
I'm way too far up.
Right. So what are we in danger of? Would you say?
Rakan, ult W, and then Ornn ult. And...
Right. I agree. It's just one of these things is gonna get us. So, how do you play around it?
Well, I first off, I don't walk up that far, but second off, I wait for like Rakan and Ornn to like either walk closer so that I don't like collapse on that corner or like reposition myself so I can like go around the little side of the blue wall and then make it harder for them to get me from that side.
Right,
so.
Exactly. Anything that doesn't involve being in range, right?
Yeah.
So, or you have to have a plan. So when we say something like plan, we're like, oh, you're gonna QSS ulti out or something like that. But whatever you come up with, number one is you have to stay safe. So the reason why you're kind of it seems like that you lost this game is because even though you had a massive lead, we just died like 4 times in a row, right?
Yeah.
So I would say is less about mid game and more about fighting, right? Where we have an issue of having our team fight, our basic team fighting priorities in order and not disengaging from really bad fights. I would say is the 2 things you really want to look at. So, oh my god, this guy's crazy. He just went in there. But yeah, you guys are just gonna lose because we just lost too many fights in a row. So the 2 big things to note here is sure, don't worry about the mechanic stuff for now, right? Actually, let's talk about this while we're looking at another replay. Should we look at Lucian?
Trying to think. I think the Lucian is the one I lose lane, and then the Jin's the one where like I do pretty well. It's kind of the same where I do very well in lane, and top's really fed, but we just end up losing anyways.
Okay.
I think I could be wrong. I mean, this was a couple days ago, so.
I think Lucian is more relevant. So, but actually, if you think the Jin game makes more sense, then we'll go with that.
I would say the Lucian's more about me, where the Jin was more about like not capitalizing on somebody else who was really fed, and I was doing okay myself.
Interesting. All right, let's take a look at this then. But to continue off what I was saying, when you want to work on team fighting stuff, right? The first thing that's easiest to do is basically play like a bitch, right? You just no matter what, you stay super safe. Okay, that's the first thing you need to work on is making sure you're super safe because if you can't do this first step, you cannot improve on anything else when it comes to fights, right? How can you hit the closest guy? How can you learn how to hit the closest guy if you always die first? If that makes you see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
That's the first step when it comes to fights, and then the second step, the second thing you want to work on is if you see a fight go poorly, you want to run. If you are in doubt, what do you do? If you're not sure, what do you do?
Probably don't engage.
Yeah, that's true. But let's say you have 2 options. You either run or fight. If it's a good fight, which one do you pick? Run or fight?
If it's a good fight, then fight.
Right, agreed. And then if it's a bad fight, you want to run, right? But what if you're not sure?
Probably gonna say run because if you're not sure, it's probably not gonna.
Yeah, if you're not sure, it's gonna be bad, right? So you definitely want to run. So make sure that we're playing in a way that you take fights, you win, and then you say, okay, how do you know you win this? You can come up with some logical reason that tells you can win this, right? So let's talk about this fight. What's going on here?
Well, I saw at first I saw the Braum passive, and I was trying to proc it real quick, thinking I could get a quick kill, but kind of overcommit. Yeah.
So at what point does it be? So this is good at first, right? So when does it become bad?
When he flashes away and then I dash in. He flashes away and I keep walking in.
Right. So how do you know we don't want to keep going?
I'm in their minion wave. I got silence. Fiddlesticks is just wailing on me.
But let's say in the middle of the game, how do we know? Because watching the replay is like, oh, we can come up with all these reasons, but in game it's not as clear. I would like to say, right? It's kind of confusing in game, right? How do you know within a split second that you want to stop or keep going? From what we discussed earlier today.
Probably, I guess, like abilities, because like for instance, we know that our abilities are down and theirs are still up.
Okay, that's true. You don't really have a way to finish him, right? But let's say, is this a good fight or a bad fight right now? Or not sure?
Well, I'd say, probably bad because I'm probably overthinking this, but we're like closer to half health. Fail6 is full health, and we have no abilities, so like there's no way this fight's gonna go well for us.
Yeah, I would say not sure. At the very least, I was like, okay, we're done here. We wanna back out, right? This is good. Right, you guys started out good, right? Hitting Braum Q, looks really good. And then when he flashes, okay, not sure, let's leave, right? Because after he flashes, how do you continue this, right? You guys, so let's say you guys back off now, right? And then you got his flash. Is that good or bad, right? You guys are automatically winning, I would say. Right. Yeah. If I comes down here with a flash, bam, you guys kill him. Or Braum even flashes and then he just dies, right? So if you guys just leave, you guys are good to go. So this is kind of along the same lines of continuing a line of play that isn't good, I think is your biggest problem, right? Is whenever a fight starts, you will see it to the end no matter what. That's what I've seen. What do you think?
Yeah.
in these fights,
I would agree.
win or lose, someone comes out on top. Sometimes it's better to discontinue the fight if you don't know if you're gonna be out on top, right? The only fights you want to see are the ones where you come out on top or everyone goes even, right? That's the only thing you want to see, right?
Yeah.
So another thing to note here is what else would you note here? What do you think?
I mean, I've used Q kind of wastedly here.
Exactly. We don't have an ability, so that's how you know you can't finish him. That's the other consideration, and the third consideration is you took W, so you definitely can't finish him.
Yeah.
Right? You always want to get your third point in Q. Right? Let's take a look at these. Everyone who plays Lucian will always get third point in Q, right? Pretty much always. Like if they skill W, it's a mistake, right? So let's look at this guy, right? Oh, this is a mistake. This guy does not play Lucian. There's no way. Let's see, Stitch. Let's take a look. He's gonna take Q, level 3, right?
Yeah.
Always, right? This is an EU player, right? Oh my God, he took W. Am I insane? Am I insane? Wait, hold up. Am I retarded, guys? Hold up. Why did he take W? He's a madman. No way. Did he take W here too? He lost this game, so no, that's really interesting. Actually, really interesting.
Yeah, don't listen to those losers.
Wow, yo, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe W is really good for using press the attack stacks, right? It turns out that a lot of people are taking W, so you may not be, you're probably not wrong in terms of we can take W. Oh, if he takes Conqueror, why would he take W? Interesting. Okay, taking a Conqueror doesn't make sense, but sure. I actually think that if you can use double shots, then it might be good. But in essence, we're just missing ability though here, right? W or not, we're just missing a Q. That's actually really interesting because you can actually do something like W first and then auto attack EQ, and then you have your press the attack. Really interesting. Okay, ignore what I just said. You're fine taking W. should be fine. But definitely keep in mind the idea of if you don't know how a fight's gonna end up for whatever reason, you don't want to fight. Okay, and you don't want to fight without an ability. Like if you miss, you want to stop the fight. Right. Like when we were playing Kaisa, we're trying to one shot the Lucian. You miss W. Okay, stop. Right. We want to stop there. Problem lands a catch. That's really nice, but we have no Q. Okay, follow up until we think we can't do anymore, and then stop. Right. That's kind of the idea. What's going on here? Okay, very nice trade. Can't keep going though, so let's clear out these minions. Sure. Okay, what happened here? Why do we have to dash away? Don't base here. What happens if you base here?
Well, I'm gonna get frozen on again.
Right, you lose 6 minions, right? So I think we are seeing some kind of wave management ideas that could be improved on, but I don't think it'll be the end of the world at this rank, right? Don't worry about that yet. Okay, just know in the back of your mind that might be something to look at when you get to the higher ranks, right? Because if they freeze on you instead of like pushing like this guy did, you're gonna lose like 6 to 12 minions, right? Let's say you guys lose 6 minions. You guys really want to break this freeze, so you guys come back into lane. The jungle's here. What do you do?
Well, I mean, we run if he's there, but we're probably gonna die.
Right. So sure, you guys can run, and then the freeze is still going on. You guys can't lane, right?
Yeah.
You can't lane. So that's the problem with not pushing it in all the way, or not making the wave in such a way that it's going to push back towards you, right? Is that you're gonna get frozen on, and worst case scenario is really, really bad, right? Oh, wow. Actually, they're actually running you down, right?
Yeah.
So
played here pretty badly.
Yeah, you want to run here, right? You don't want to help this guy, right? How do we know you don't want to help this guy?
He's dead, regardless.
So in terms of what we talked about today, what would we say this is?
Well, I'm doing the thing where like I'll fight to the no end.
Right. When you see something really bad, you wanna get out, right? You want to leave. There's nothing you could do here to help him.
Yeah.
Right. Literally nothing. So you just die here. There's no way. You have no E. They can even dive you. Oh wow, he's actually diving you. Oh Jesus Christ! Oh no! What? What? I thought you were gonna get him at least, but you just fucked. Oh my god, dude! I want to play some fiddlestick support. Yeah, so this is a game where landing phase is kind of donezo, right? But regardless, maybe you can salvage something from this, right? Yeah, I think that this let's just see if we can find any fights to see what's going on here, because there's not much you can do. If disaster like that happens, it's just pretty much not much you can do, right? You wanna so what happened here? What happened here?
Well, for some reason, I'm trying to save a tower that's clearly gone.
Okay, true. But let's pretend that this is a regular fight.
Numbers. Yeah, numbers.
Right. You guys are just losing based off numbers, and let's pretend that you guys have even numbers. What's wrong here?
I mean, we're behind, so.
No, don't worry about the behind stuff. Don't worry about like item advantages or anything like that. The only time item advantage is like really important is when they have like an item on you. Right? Yeah. The full item on you or something like that. Don't worry about that for now. You pretty much never have to worry about that. Remember how last game you had like 2 items on the other guy and you lost the game. So it's not gonna matter at this rate. I promise. Yeah. Okay. What's the big idea here? Let's say you have even numbers. There's no tower that exists. You guys are fighting. In terms of our team fight priorities, are we breaking any of them?
Well, yeah. I mean, we're not hitting the closest target first.
Okay. That's not the first party, right? We start from number 1.
Well, yeah. Well, we're not safe.
Right. I agree. What are we in danger of?
The jacks E. Well, or the fiddlesticks like silence, fear.
Yeah. I would say the fear leads into the Jax E, because I'm sure you can walk away from his stun. You just press E or something like that, right? You should be good to go. But if he fears you and they do that, you're screwed, right?
Yeah.
So that's the problem, is that we're not safe, right? It actually almost happened, right? He didn't. This fear actually, I mean, this silence almost screwed you over in terms of not being able to E out. So and we kind of lost our flash for free, right? Is another problem. Oh, this is also back to our idea of continuing a fight that we don't know is working or not. So you don't know it's working, you're gonna lose, right? So these are definitely the top 2 things we want you to work on. Okay, is team fighting. Number 1 priority. You don't even care about the second priority, because right now we're just need to make sure we're safe. Okay, I'm sure that if you can do this first step, the second step will make more sense, right? But the first step is always make sure you're safe. Okay, so anything like you have to tell yourself they have a Jack stun and a Varus ulti, and that's what I have to watch out for. Or let's say in a different game, it's they have an Aurelia ulti you have to watch out for, or a Malphite ulti is the common example, or any flash ulti, right? You need to stay away from that. Or Rakan ulti, I guess, is common too. Stay away from that until you know that they can't do it for whatever reason, like they're dead, or they use it on your teammates, right? In which case you don't have to be afraid of it anymore. Second is obviously hit the closest guy, but I think we're doing that to a fault. Right, I think is our problem. The second thing you want to work on is if this is a bad fight or you're not sure, you don't want to fight. So if you didn't want to fight but you want to still help Mundo, how do you do it?
Good question. If I wanted to help Mundo here without fighting, I mean, I kind of thought it would be to clear the waves, but.
This is the idea that you're waiting to see if your team can find something juicy, right? Let's say Mundo throws a cleaver in Fiddle's face and Flash kills him. Okay, maybe this is a winning fight, right? That's something good. Maybe we can find something here. So you want to be far enough that they can't use their moves on you, right? So that you're safe. So that's like back here, right? If you can see my mouse, but close enough that you can follow up, right? So this would, I would say, be sufficient for our purposes. What do you think?
Yeah, with Ian, you could get in if you had to. So
right, exactly. Or you can even walk up, right? Just anywhere back here, though, right? Is the idea. So the difference between where we are and where we should be is huge, I would say. So you just need to play back a lot more, right? You just need to be super safe, right? Like I said, play like a bitch, because right now you're too manly, right? You're so manly, they kill you. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing I think you need to work on. Number 1 is making sure we're not fighting unless we have a reason, right? I think it doesn't matter if we're ahead or behind or even. I think that if we watch more of your replays, it's going to be a lot of we fight in a bad fight and then we just end up dying, right? Because there's no way to win, right? right? It's not that your mechanics are not good enough to win. It's that you're in a situation where no mechanics can win, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Same thing here, right? You don't want to defend this tower, right? There's no way. There's no way. I would even save my call for Vi lands and ulti, you need the culling, right? So that could be something to look at, but don't worry about the mechanics right now. It's just the idea of when you want to fight and when you don't want to fight, right? Because it's all snowballing out of control, right? Whenever you make one poor fight decision, the whole team is gonna die. I promise you, right? Whole team is gonna die. Someone's gonna get caught. I don't know what it is, but oh, what the hell? Your team is always gonna do some crazy shit, right? Like here, for example, right? Would that Yasuo have died if everyone was still alive? Maybe not, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he'd still kill himself, but I think it's more likely that he wouldn't, right? Yeah, I think everyone's just it's kind of having a snowball effect. You know what I mean? In terms of one poor decision and everyone loses their mind. Okay, so how do you know you win this? What's our reasoning here?
Numbers.
I agree. So numbers advantage means you win. Sure, you can take this fight. Of course, since they're missing on the map, maybe you're like, oh, they could be coming, so don't chase. But you have the right idea here. And then let's say he's gonna kill you, so you have to leave. This is correct as well. You can't keep, you walk up to him, you're gonna die, right? So just because you have numbers doesn't mean you automatically win, right? Like, what's the famous case of, Fed Annie, right? You have 3 people, everyone runs up to Annie. What happens?
I mean, she's gonna ult everyone. Then just...
yeah. It sounds super obvious right now, but how many times have you seen it, right?
Funny enough, in that
a million
review,
times.
I think it actually happens.
Right? Yeah. Same with Oriana. I think is a really common example. Oh shit! We caught someone. Oriana ults 5 people, and it's like, oh, we lost. So it's the same idea. Is just because you have numbers advantage doesn't mean they can't. I'll value you guys to the point where your numbers advantage is meaningless. But that's why being safe is number 1. Right. But okay. Fiddlesticks is going in for this sick ulti. Oh, I think Mundo's dying. He's just gonna get hit by everything. Goodbye. This game's pretty much over, I would say. It's still the same big ideas I think you should work on, right? So to reiterate, right, it's super important to what's it called? Like, tell this to yourself over and over again so that you work on it. But number 1 is whenever you're fighting, the first 2 priorities are what? First priority is what?
Well, the first priority is are you safe?
Yes, and then second priority is, of course, hit the closest guy, right?
Yeah.
You have no problems doing that. It's just be safe, right? And then the second big thing you want to work on. So team fighting is super easy, right? Just sit super far back. I don't care how far back you have to be. So let's say there's a line here, right? And to the right of this line is being safe and hitting the closest guy, right? And to the left is you're not safe enough, right? So we would rather have you be so far out here where you're so safe, but you can't hit anyone, right? Versus over this line, because you're always over this line right now.
Right.
So how do you fix that? You go to the extreme. You need to make sure that no matter what, you're safe, right? And then, of course, after you can stay on this side of the line for, 10, 20, 30 games in a row, you start inching, back towards this line until, you're right outside that Malphite ult range or something like that. And then you're good to go. But anytime you're over this line, that's like, you consider that to be a throw because you can't, your team automatically loses the fight, right? If you ever get caught like that. So, right now, I think you're just too far over here. You need to be over here, right? And then the second thing to look at is how do you know this is a good fight? So most of the time, you're not going to know in game, right? Most of the time, I don't know in game until something more apparent happens, like, oh, Braum catches someone. Then it's more obvious or whatever, right? So what do you do instead? What should you do instead? In these mid-game fights, you're not sure if these fights are good. What do you do?
Don't take them.
Right, but let's say, what are some actions we can do instead of fighting that are pertain to waves? Would you say?
Well, I mean, obviously you can push outside lanes, but like farming in particular.
Right. Just push lanes. Right. That's kind of the mid game idea. That is if you have troubles mid game and you don't know what to do because they're not giving you any fights or your team is only picking bad fights, then you push out the lane. Right. How far do you push out the lane? What's ideal?
I guess it'd be kind of hard to show through my end, but like, from my understanding, like where the point of the river is, so that it pushes forward and eventually bounces back.
Yes, perfect. You know, and why do you want it to bounce back?
I mean, so that you keep getting gold and they don't,
Right.
or not as fast.
It's similar to the idea of remember when we're like, oh, your wave management could lose a little work because if they freeze, you're screwed. If you don't push it past the river, it's gonna freeze by itself. Right. So that's kind of why we push it past the river. So we don't lose any money. That's a maximum amount of money you can get, pretty much. Oh, and then rest in peace. But you know, this is same thing here, right? Is what did you try to do right here?
I walked up too close to get like a bad. Well, it was a bad trade. I mean, there's no.
You tried to fight, right? How do you know you win this fight?
He doesn't have ult, and I have everything up.
Wait, you have everything up?
No. I'm saying how I would win would be like he doesn't have.
Oh no. Like in the situation, how did you know, right? And then it's like if you don't know, if you never know, like then you can't do it, right?
Yeah.
Even if he had zero abilities and you had everything, how do you know you still lose this?
Yes. I'm not really sure actually.
Do you see where his team is?
No. Except for his Talia, I guess.
And so then he has 5 people, right? He has 5 people. If you don't know where they are, they're all next to him. They're all in this bush over here or down here. And then where's your team? Okay, we're missing 2 people mid. So you know it's 3v5. You can't win, right? That's kind of how I look at the game, right? Is how do you make sure you win these fights? Well, do you have more people? You know, do they have all their abilities up? Did something good happen? Did something bad happen? Right? That's kind of the idea. I think for you're just trying to fight too much without having a reason, right? And you're relying on mechanics to get your way out of a lot of the fights, which is works sometimes when the fights are able to be won with mechanics, but I think most of the time it's just cannot win, right? So that's the idea, is you have to kind of be able to reason out why you win. And then, you know, if we die, you know, stuff like this is always going to happen, right? It's just nothing you can do. Everyone's going to die afterwards, right? So have you ever heard of the phrase, if one person gets caught, everyone gets caught?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true in solo queue. There's just not much you can do. So when your team gets caught, and the reason why everyone gets caught is because everyone tries to help. All right, they try and continue a fight that already started out like a disaster. So what's the solution? Don't continue that fight, right? You want to disengage. Same thing with us. I think for us, we're kind of starting those bad fights and also continuing bad fights. So very nice catch though, right? You don't really have any mechanical problems except for sometimes you waste abilities, but yeah, I would not worry about the mechanical side. Just maybe save your abilities more, right? It's more about stay safe in team fights to the closest guy. If there's a bad fight or you're not sure, right here, do you know if this is good or not right now?
Yeah, I don't.
Right, not sure. Then you stay safe. I would stay like right here until it becomes more clear, right? The fight will simplify itself. I promise you. And then all of a sudden, if Jax jumped in there and then Braum tagged him, now you know it's good, because Jax is insta dying to you, right? So that's how you know. But I think you always go in without knowing, and then you lose like your flash and everything else, right? So that's one thing you should definitely look at. Oh, and then good or bad, not sure. Okay, you can leave, right? So this is actually not gonna be good because you're chasing, right? So fast forward. Oh wait, did you get him? Oh baby, I think you actually got him. Oh no.
No, I got the ward.
Oh well, yeah. I thought this is gonna be, you know, rest in peace, but Varus actually left, I guess. So you guys are okay.
Yeah, Varus is really low, so
there's just no way you guys. Yeah, you guys don't want to chase because you don't. How do you know it's good? You don't, so you can't chase, right? You have no catch-up mechanic or anything like that, right? He just walks to his base. What do you do? Can't really do anything. Oh no, you're dead here. Oh, he doesn't have flash. Okay, you're good. Your team's dead though, so this is at this point you're like, okay, whatever. You go next game because there are too many mistakes that happened before. But the good news is that even though you make these mistakes often, it's only the same mistakes, right? Yeah. So if you fix it once, you fix it forever, if that makes any sense, right? You fixing these 2 parts of your gameplay will make everything else really good in return, because these are the only mistakes you're making, right? So it's really easy for you to focus on these 2 things. Okay, this is number 1. Mega safe in team fights. Okay, if you're not sure, you stay super far back. Okay, and then number 2 is if there's a bad fight, you want to run. Okay, yeah. So let's see if we can find some examples of any of these. This is probably too short. Let's see what's going on here. All right. Apparently there's an assist here. Oh, okay. That's not a good example. We had a gank. All right, let's see what's going on here. How do you know this is a good fight right off the bat?
Well, you've got Zen coming, so you've got an numbers advantage.
Right, but let's say their jungler is also here too. So
yeah. Well, your win condition is like all in. So, and then you've also got all your abilities up, and you're also 6 while they're 5.
Right. So the disadvantage is we're chasing in a 3v3, but our advantage is, like you said, we are level 6. We're matchup dependent, right? Matchup based on the matchup, we're gonna win. And this fight is gonna be so fast, their jungler is not gonna be here in time, right? He could be right here, or maybe Graves is their jungler, he's dead, right? Maybe it's their top laner who's teleporting, but this fight's gonna go so fast, they can't do anything, right? So that's how you know you win. Numbers advantage, right? That's how you know you win. And then it doesn't matter what you do because you're gonna win no matter what, right? It looks fancy and all, but basically you just outsmart them to the point where they can't really win. Let me see if there's another example. This is not a good game. Let's go to a different game.
Jeez.
Let's see what's going on here.
17 kills.
Yeah, the champion's broken. So here we go. Let's fast forward here. This is gonna be really spicy. All right. Pause. What's going on here?
Okay, so this is not 6, so you know you're fine. I guess he's kind of, again, you're kind of an all-in while they're like, I don't really know what I'd say they are. I mean, I know Fiddle 6 is like poke, but like I don't know what Twitch is per se.
I would say there's something like catch all in or something like that, but it's kind of strange, right? Okay. But if you look at the minimap, does your answer change in terms of what's going on?
Yeah, there's a Zen coming, kill you both.
So definitely losing.
Flash.
Right?
Yeah.
You want to run. Doesn't matter what happens. You're leaving his ass because he's dead no matter what, right? Everyone's trying to run here. Oh, what did I do wrong?
You autoed and tried to help.
Right, so I died. Right? So if I had healed and ran, I was okay, right? Because he couldn't flash after me. But this is the problem, is that a lot of players have the exact same problem you do, is you try and help when it's 100% losing, right? So I actually could have lived here. I just had to walk away. Let's take a look at any of these. Okay, what's going on here? Oh, what did I do wrong here?
You wasted your W. Okay.
Yeah, agreed, right? I could have just waited for Zen ult to go out and then use it on Fiddle or something, right? But right now we have some kind of temporary man advantage, right? Talia is super far behind, so okay, kill them and run, sure. And then how do you know you can win this Talia? How do you know you can beat her?
Well, looks like you got 4 people to 1, and you're not like I mean, like the Pike is pretty low in no mana, but you guys have mana and some health to get like turn on her. So,
all right, but we don't really have any abilities, right? So, for me, when I saw this, I was like, I'm not sure. So you gotta run, right? Well, everyone's running, right? And then if something good happens, then you can turn, right? So maybe something good is, oh, he found a charm, right? So if we had tried to kill her before, I think everyone was just gonna die, right? Yeah. But you wait until something good happens, and then you can go in, right? That's the idea we want to kind of have you practice. Okay, is you don't want to fight unless it's a good fight, and in team fights you want to just take the closest guy, right? So let's see if we can fast forward to any of these spicy ones in the middle. I remember these were really interesting. Okay, let's talk about this. I died here. Let's watch this one. So some kind of chaos going on. Let's talk about this. This is an interesting one to look at because it'll be very similar to your games, right? This is similar kind of your head after the laning phase mid game. We're playing the same champion, same kind of items. How do you play fights then, right? Okay, we're trying to fight them. Why are we trying to fight them here?
Well, Zen's caught out, but after that, I mean, like the others are like kind of dark on the map. I guess Talia's dead too, so you have the numbers advantage.
Right, Talia's dead is our number one reason. We have more people, so try and do this, and then okay, what's going on now?
Well, Twitch is just killing everybody, but I guess there was a kind of an overcommitment too for the Zen, and he just kind of walked out, and then people continued to overcommit for it. So they just turned.
So you would say something like big value, beat the numbers advantage, right? Something like that. There's some massive Fiddle ulti and Twitch ulti, right? So what did we do wrong? What do you think?
I'm not quite sure because it looks like you were backing off in a bad fight. I guess, well, you stuck around.
Yeah, I stuck around to see if I could do anything. It's just, number one is supposed to stay safe, right? So we thought we were safe here. We thought this range is safe, right? Which is generally true. We're pretty far away, right? But what do we get caught by?
Yeah, you walk back up and then.
What is this? What is this? Right?
Yeah.
What is this fat fiddlesticks fear, right? And then you just die because it's 2v3, right? Maybe talent can find something. I don't know. It's just losing 100%, right? So we're unsafe. Was there anything we could have done to win that fight?
I mean, I guess probably. I mean, as a team or just you?
No. You personally, you can't control your team, right?
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know about win the fight. I would say no, but you definitely could have not walked up at the end.
Yeah, it's impossible, right? Some fights is impossible to win, right? Not every fight can be won, and I think that's the one. If you could take anything away from this session, it's that not every fight can be won. Because I think that you try and fight because it seems like maybe it's possible to do something, but sometimes you can't do anything, right? Like in this case, everyone just suicides, right? So let's take a look at some more of these because I think these will be really relevant for you. If you still play Kaisa, do you still play Kaisa?
I try to, but like since she's just automatically like banned unless I'm like first pick and I get lucky. But I try to play whenever I can. So.
Wow, this is a messy fight. Yeah, Kaisa is really good. I would say is always good to practice, right? Okay, messy fight. Sure, couldn't find anything else. What's going on here? How do we know we're killing this guy?
Because he's coming from behind, so you got numbers advantage. And
right.
Yeah, I mean you're strong, obviously.
Well, it is 2v2, right? So the reason why we can win is because I guess we can kill him fast enough. Yeah. Maybe Zin doesn't count as a person because we kill him so fast. And then, what's going on here? This is some kind of Baron play. I remember this. We're like waiting for Twitch to come out. Sure. If you have some kind of plan, then you can execute on it. So this is what we mean by, remember how we're like, you need to be safe. Number one is being safe, right? So remember how we're like, how do you be safe against Rakano? Or maybe you could have a plan that says QSS ulti or something like that, right? So Twitch is coming out here. What's the plan here? What was the plan I had in mind?
Well, to W, then ult on him for the shield, and then, hit him with your passive Q.
Right. I just was like, okay, the plan is W, right? Could we improve on this plan?
I guess maybe you could have not taken as much damage from the Baron from tanking, but then you wouldn't have got the Baron either.
Don't worry about the Baron tanking stuff, right? Just straight up, Twitch is coming out. Could we have improved on this plan?
I guess you could have. I don't know if this would work or if you were be far enough, but maybe if you were like on the edge of the Baron pit where he couldn't ult you, or like he couldn't ult both of you, he could just ult one of you.
Okay, that's true. If we're standing on opposite sides, he couldn't have the Runons going on. How about from a more mechanical standpoint, right? Because plans are very much mechanical. I guess mechanical plans, right? And then you have to execute on them, right?
Yeah.
I can see two options here. So.
Yeah, maybe I'm not seeing it then.
So
I mean, I definitely see the option you were thinking, but I don't see the other ones, I guess.
So if he comes out and you W, how many hits did we tank?
Probably like 2 or 3.
Right. So what if we're at like 1 HP? How do we make sure that we're winning this?
You better get your ult off fast. I mean, you're dead if so.
Well, we can't get our ult off fast because W has a travel time, right?
Oh, yeah.
And ult even has a travel time. So something like something else could be like we're gonna W flash out of his ulti range and then ulti in. Something like that could be working really well. Something like W and then flash Q and then ulti could be working really well, right? Because we can kill him faster. But anything like that makes sense. But as long as you have a plan, right? That's kind of how you can what's it called? Beat their plan, right? Their plan is just kill you, just auto attack you, right? So if you can come up with something better, it doesn't matter what it is, as long as you can execute on it, right? As long as it works theoretically, right? It actually almost didn't work, right? Look how close we were to death, which is why we're like, oh, maybe we should have improved on this plan, right? Let's watch some of these other fights. Okay, what's going on here? Yeah, this is really important to note because what's it called? Oh, okay, we're trying to hope here, and then our talent dies. Whatever. If you don't know what to do, you push. Right? You're happy pushing.
Yeah.
Okay, there's some kind of fight going on. How do we know this is good? Not sure. Oh, okay, we found something. Right? They're just all gonna die because Kaisa's fucking broken. Sure. Fast forward. Let's watch a different fight. Some of these fights are a little too basic, I think. Okay, what's going on here? How far are we from the fight right now?
For your 80, well, for Kaisa, pretty far because your range isn't that far.
Right, we want to be mega safe, right? We don't want to hit anyone unless we know for sure, right? And then Fiddle comes out. Sure, he just dies, and then we're good to go. That's all you need to do. Hit the closest guy. Make sure you're safe. Right? I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. If this works in Challenger, then it'll work in Gold. Okay, I promise you. This is all you need to do, right? Have I done anything crazy this game, from what you saw?
Not really.
Like, even when we're yeah, it's just all about can you outsmart your opponent, right? Even when it's 2v1, right? You're gonna stay safe like to the maximum, right? We're kiting towards our team, right? It's better to stay safe and then chunk him out and not kill him than it is to try and kill him without thinking and then you end up dying and then give up Baron or something crazy, right? And it's like, oh, Fiddle's right here. That's kind of awkward. Their whole team's coming in and then we're gonna wait until the fight is simplified, right? Sure, that's a troll ass W, but we actually hit someone, which is kind of interesting. You would consider that a mistake, by the way, if you're going for something, but something else happened, right? Seems good. And then we know we can kill him because we have Zanya's, right? And then the rest of the game is kind of strange. Let me see. I think that was the last fight. The rest of this is like kind of what face.
Yeah, it looks like you guys get this and then just kind of die for it, I assume.
Yeah, that was unfortunate how half the team wanted to end and half the team wanted to go bot. But it turned out okay. It's probably not the best, but it's the general idea, right? Is we are trying to hit the closest guy. Well, we're trying to be safe first, and then we're trying to hit the closest guy. And then we're not going to try and fight unless we know it's good.
Right.
Those are the three kind of concepts, really two concepts, right? But those are the things I think will help you the most. What do you think?
I 100% agree.
All right, cool. Any last questions? You want to cover anything that we didn't talk about?
I mean, like, yeah, I'm honestly, I don't think I have any questions because I'm just gonna focus on like trying to improve that right now because I think those are pretty glaring. Like if you fix these, I'm not saying obviously it's like a one fix all, but it's definitely a start. So.
Oh yeah, like pretty much the other aspects of your gameplay are really good or covered up because of this like one thing, you would say, right? So if you can fix this, then other things might appear. But this is it seems like your laning phase is really good, right? So if you can do this in the mid late game, you're just gonna win, right? Is the idea. And then when you get stuck at a higher rank, then it's like, oh, okay, something else is acting up. So
yeah,
sounds good.
Yeah,
these two things. So the way I worked on these ideas are the first is the knee-jerk reaction, which is like we said, since you're playing too far to the side where we are not safe enough, just play mega safe, which is what I did. I just stayed. I pretty much was like out of vision of the enemy team during a fight, and then I walked up to clean up whenever I thought it was safe, right? That's how extreme I played, and then that helped a lot because it taught me what was safe, what was not safe. And then the second is I stopped joining fights that were super bad, right? If you don't know a fight is good, you want to play like you're losing, okay? That's like the biggest piece of advice I can say is if you don't know a fight is good, play like you're losing. How do you know a fight is happening? When champions are trying to hit each other, right? I would say that your first reaction should be, is this good? Figure that out. And then if you're not sure, you play like you're losing, right? I think those two things will help you the most. If you keep that in mind in your game, I think it'll go really well, right? We would rather have you lose a fight because you didn't hit anyone than you lose a fight because you were trying to do too much, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because one is helping you improve and one is just doing the same thing we were doing before. So keep that in mind, right? To the extreme. Try and play to the extreme where you're mega safe, okay?
Yeah.
Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
All right, cool. Let me know how things go. If you have any other questions, now's the time. Otherwise, we'll stop here for today, upload this to YouTube, and I guess you'll let me know when the other session is, right?
Yeah. I'll look at my schedule, and then I'll let you know as soon as I can.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Definitely practice this, and hopefully, maybe you won't even need another session for a while.
Yeah.
If this keeps getting better, but maybe we might need it next week. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
depends on the games you play, I guess. But yeah, if that's all, then good luck in your games.
All right. Thanks, man.
No problem. No problem. Have a good one.
You too.